Aloha and shalom. Setting you up on a stack of books right here as my little tripod. Stack of books. Always coming in clutch. All right. Oh, are we good? Oh, I think it's going to stay. Woo! Yes, I've got my white buffalo. It's cold up in here in the mountains of northern Arizona. Let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. My cats are joining us. And we're here for the first quarter activation, meaning we had the new moon activation last week, so it was a new beginning, clean slate, stepping into a new lesson, and now we're 1 week in. Okay, so this is a 4-part cycle as always, and we're 1 part in. So we're just now putting our feet in, getting both of our feet wet. So we're gonna see where we're at, what's going on. West Virginia in the house, Ohio in the house. Feel free to share this video now while we're live with family, friends, someone who could use an inspirational message, some guidance right now. Get them in the portal while we're live, or feel free to share with them at the end. You can share this video or the recording, which will go to YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, for anyone who's not in the Facebook world. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Where in the world are you? Sydney, Australia in the house. Hey. All right. Thank you in advance, Archetypes, Faces of the One, for this message that's about to come through. This message meaning this map, this offering of guidance that particularly pertains to this point of the cycle that we're finding ourselves in. Again, it's the first quarter activation, so we're 1 week into this current cycle, yes, as individuals, but more importantly, as a collective consciousness. So we give thanks in advance for this map of guidance that's about to come through. Beginning with the challenge and gift, also known as the focus, where we're heading. And remember, we can't predict the details of the future. We're writing it right now, but there is a cycle, a circle, a pattern that is eternal, and we can always identify what part of the cycle we're stepping into next. And that's about as future telling as this gets. That was a little poem. And then, as usual, we'll use the Hebrew cards and we'll ask for an ally of the week. Although we are an ally to all of these archetypes, and the archetypes are allies to us, there's always one that's a primary focus at any given point. All right. Thank you for this message. Beginning with the challenge and gift. The focus. Ooh, this one's been coming up a lot lately in all of my one-on-one readings. This is the Ace of Wands. And aces are initiations. So depending on what suit you pull, it's an initiation within that suit and all that that represents. So this is the Ace of Wands. Wands is the fire element, and it's the suit of spirit. And it's an initiation on the spiritual path. It's an initiation first in the unseen realm. And if you've taken my course or if you've read my books, you'll see that it's really important to consider all of the elements. You first want to consider the primary elemental association with the card, but then remember, as in one dimension, so in all. if you're having a spiritual initiation and you intentionally move through that initiation, it's going to affect you mentally, emotionally, physically, right? So you first have the initiation in one realm and then it ripples out to all the others. So first we're focusing on the spiritual aspect of the initiation. So if this is the energy we're experiencing right now as the challenge and gift, what does that mean? It looks like right now you may be experiencing excitement, which can look like many different things. It can look like nervousness, anxiousness, right? You can have some anxiety, but there's a big, powerful feeling about. There's a big, powerful feeling coming up within you. And maybe you're even sensing it around you because, again, it's a collective energy. So how can we harness all this big energy that's coming in? I've been getting a lot of inquiries about anxiety in this situation or that. And what I'm seeing right now, what they're showing me is that it all always comes down to the one. It always comes back to this idea of, is what I am experiencing, in Hebrew we call it lishma or lo lishma or not lishma. Is it for the sake of the creator or not? And you can simplify any question in this way. So in regard to anxiety, it's asking, how can I harness this energy for the highest good of the one? It's like you can maybe ask, like, where is this anxiety coming from? Why do I have this anxiety? What do I do with it, right? The 3 W's, where, what, why, all these things. And it all comes down to the same thing. Well, how can I use whatever it is I'm feeling, which in this case is anxiety, for the highest good of the one? And from there, you can see when you reflect, well, me just thinking negative things about this anxiety or sitting there just paralyzed and thought about it at all is not going to serve anyone. So how can I remember that this anxiousness is just an energy moving through me, and I can use it to fuel my ability to be active about a cause? For example, let's take it back to the virtuous path. In any given moment, there's an opportunity to embody and actualize the light of a virtue. So if you're feeling anxiety, remember it's just a big energy moving in you, like excitement, right? Because it's the same thing, it's adrenaline, right? It's energy. Everything is just energy in motion. So you've got that energy moving through you. Don't judge it as bad, just it's an energy moving. And then you look, where in this moment am I being called to be virtuous? Where is there an opportunity for me to be patient right now? Where is there an opportunity for me to be kind right now, for me to be honest right now? Again, in any given moment, there is always a multitude of opportunities to be virtuous. So then take that energy, that big energy, anxiety, big energy, and put it toward that one path that we're always on. All of us are always on. Take that energy, and instead of going, oh, what is that? Why am I feeling that? Oh, it's negative. Might be coming from here, maybe coming from there. What do I do with this? Just go, oh yeah, I know what to do with all of my energy. Direct it toward the virtuous path. So it's just adrenaline. Okay, that must be coming through because I'm seeing it anyway. Like I said, in my personal life, I'm seeing it in one-on-one readings. A lot of people are experiencing this big energy right now, and they're identifying with it as anxiety. But how can we redefine what we're feeling to just be energy, big energy, and then bring it back to, oh yeah, it's all to be directed on the virtuous path. And that simplifies it. If you want to try to identify, what is the spiritual initiation I'm experiencing right now, or at any time for that matter, it always involves the virtuous path. There's nothing else more important or more simple than this. Absolute truth. So all of the complex details don't matter. Simplify, come back to this idea that this wand, which represents spirit and the spiritual path, it's all about the light of the virtues. So if I could just stay focused on that, it's always the same goal. So that's reliable, right? Just stay focused on that. then I can rest assured that the path will be paved, that I will reach that next level of my beingness. I will reach that next level of my best self, my higher frequency, if I just continue that tried and true path of embodying and actualizing the light of the virtues. So whatever anxiety you're feeling, anxiousness, big energy, maybe you're feeling it on a more positive note. Maybe you're feeling excitement, you're feeling joy, you're feeling, all this positive energy. It's just all energy. So lasso that in and direct it with clarity in a simple way toward being a virtuous individual. My cats are scratching. Okay, so harness that energy, direct it toward the path. That's all there ever is to do. That's all there ever is to do. Whew. And we're moving toward the devil, also known as the Black Magician. Black magic. And all that this represents is the archetype or the energy of being trapped as a result of our own perversions of reality, our own perverted thoughts of reality, our own misunderstood thoughts of what reality is, right? So what happens when we connect to a vice and we practice a vice as opposed to a virtue, we begin to distort our subconscious programming. And we do this unconsciously, right? For example, if you're hooked on a specific drug that isn't good for you, it's not good for the one, then what happens is you tell yourself subconsciously that this is okay, this bad thing is okay, and that thing is not in alignment with the absolute truth. So subconsciously, your grasp, your hold on the truth becomes detached, distorted. Right? Because as in one dimension, so in all. So if you're practicing something that's out of alignment, you're misaligned all the way through. It's one or the other. It's light or the dark. And that's okay. We go through this for a divine reason. That's why this archetype is given a card in the deck. It's an important part. Okay, if you look here, he's lighting this guy's tail on fire. It's saying that it's whatever fall we experience is just putting a fire under our ass. It's helping us to get into the thing that we need to get into because it's a lesson that we need to learn and a lesson that we ultimately need to overcome, which is inevitable. So we don't need to be afraid of the fall. We don't need to be afraid of the mistakes or the missteps. They're part of the path. They're an absolutely crucial part of the path. Arcanum 15, the devil is connected to the Hebrew letter Samech, which is all about, the staff is the hieroglyphic symbol associated with this letter, and it's all about, you know what, our mistakes become our support later on down the road. So dive head first, go fully into it. Don't be afraid of this experience that's coming. Okay, it's the inevitable lessons we need to learn. And hey, after 15 comes 16, the tower, liberation, that inevitable freeing ourselves from that limiting program so that we can rise higher than we were before we experienced it. Okay, so that anxiety that you're feeling or that big energy you're feeling, the best thing you can do with it is direct it toward the virtuous path. That's all we can ever do. It's the simplest, easiest way for us to recenter ourselves, especially if we're sensing an upcoming fall, an upcoming darkness, an upcoming discomfort. That's all it really is. And that's temporary because discomfort is temporary. So instead of paralyzing ourselves in fear, feeling all this coming, because we are psychic beings, right? The heart can sense things before they happen. So yes, you may be sensing something. We're always sensing what is coming. But again, it's better to focus that energy toward being a virtuous embodiment rather than getting paralyzed in fear over what that thing might be that's on its way, what that thing might be that's coming. It doesn't matter. And if you focus your energy on the virtuous path, then whatever inevitable lessons you're about to face, I promise you, will be with more comfort, with more grace, with more ease. You will have more self-acceptance, more patience, more kindness, more love for others and also for yourself. Because if you stay focused on that virtuous path and you put all those big energies toward that path rather than, again, being paralyzed in fear or all in your head, then you are an embodiment of compassion. You vibrate at the frequency of compassion. So then when those inevitable lessons come to face you, you are so prepared. You're as prepared as you can possibly be. You have God with you. You always have God with you, but you are aware of it in this way. You are connected in mind, in body, and in spirit, ready to face whatever that darkness is. Now, don't you think that's better than being paralyzed in fear the whole time and that thing comes and hits you and you just, it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back and you have to go through this huge chaotic meltdown or crisis to then only get back up again anyway. So let's stay focused on the virtuous path so that no matter what comes our way, we will have the compassion to deal with it with the most acceptance, grace, ease, kindness, love for one another and ourselves. And the ally is the letter Nun. N-U-N. You can look it up. And it's flipped because we're on a screen, right? So you can Google it, Hebrew letter Nun. And I love this because I was just thinking of the Nun because 14, it's the 14th letter, comes right before 15. And I was going to mention it, but I didn't. And that's perfect because we're meant to mention it in this order, obviously. Instead of mentioning 14, I chose to mention 16, the tower, a minute ago, right? So you have 14, 15, 16, the tower. It's a little sequence. So while the tower comes after the devil, what comes before is the Nun, which is connected to Arcanum 14, Temperance, aka the alchemist. You are planting the seeds. The Nun is connected to its hieroglyphic symbol, which is a seed. You are the one planting those seeds. You are the gardener. You are the co-creator in this reality with God. You planted these seeds. You have nothing to fear. There is nothing that can come your way, nothing that you will have to face in this life that is not a part of the divine design, perfectly written in the stars, in the stone, just for you. And what's more is that it's not just some outside force that wrote this script and you're just a puppet in the game. You're a precious part of the one. You're a co-creator in this reality. You're helping to write this story. It's no one outside of you that's making this happen to you or doing this to you. You chose this life and all of these experiences. So the Nun, as the ally, helps us to see that there is nothing to fear here. You wrote the script. So whatever big feelings you're feeling, take it as a sign, a wake-up call. To just simply be more present and remember you planted the seeds. You're the gardener. So whatever big feelings you feel, they're not to fear. They're simply to, as always, be directed toward the goal of bringing heaven to earth, which in simpler terms looks like embodying more light, embodying and actualizing the light of the virtues, because that light of the virtues is the all-virtuous light of compassion. It's the original light of creation, where we all come from, the light, and it's the light we move through, and it's the light we return to. So again, the Nun, as the ally, says, have no fear. You've been planting the seeds all along. They're going to grow into the fruit that you knew would come, the harvest that you can expect. You reap what you sow. So whatever big feelings you feel, whatever you're feeling in any moment, again, these messages are eternally, timelessly applicable. So in any moment, whatever you're feeling should be directed toward that one collective goal that we all share, that one purpose. Embodying and actualizing the light of the virtues. And if you can do that, if you can just stay focused, then you have nothing to fear. And whatever comes your way, you should expect it and meet it with compassion, because that's what you will have been grounded in and anchoring in this whole time. So when you arrive at that inevitable place of having to face your own darkness, your own perversions of your mind, your own bad habits, you'll have greater strength because you will be so connected to Source. You will have the greatest strength and the support of all creation to respond to that energy and that darkness with ultimate compassion. And you'll be able to finally break the chains. You'll be able to finally quit that bad habit. You'll be able to finally say no to the belief, the idea, or the impulse, or the temptation that is not serving us, that is not serving that divine plan. But see, if you did it in the other way, let's go there, because it's important to go there so that we know how to recognize these things within ourselves. It's important to recognize the opposite so that we have the whole picture, right? So you can either do what we just described, or you can allow that anxiety to overcome you. You can be paralyzed in fear. And when you come to that point anyway, inevitably, where you have to face yourself, you'll do it with disgust and self-loathing and hate and no compassion. And you know what will happen then? You'll choose to stay connected to that poor habit. You'll gladly continue in your crappy ways because you will not have been anchoring in that love. And that's okay too, because that crappiness and that negativity and that suffering, that discomfort, it's all temporary. It's all temporary, so it's okay. But if you know that, let's do better. If you know that, let's make a change. Take the higher road because it feels good for you and for everyone. Why would you want to be a victim? Why would you not want to assume the role as co-creator, the seed planter, that divine gardener? If you truly know that, then when you come to this point, you won't want to be a victim. You will want to assume that divine and beautiful role and purpose. You surely, if you truly know it, then you surely, when you come to this point, will wish to have compassion for yourself and the greater self, because you know that's what's going to bring the best feeling, the most joy, the most fulfillment, not only for yourself, but everyone you love and everyone and all of creation. So, let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be kind to one another. And especially when we're feeling like it's hard and when we're feeling like, you know, we've got this big energy to deal with and we don't know what to do with it, let's just simply reel it in and redirect that toward the same goal we've always had and always will have, of being an embodiment of that virtuous light. Not fearing what's to come, but accepting that we planted the seeds, and so we will reap what we sow. Nothing to fear. God is here. Walk in the light, and you have nothing to fear. Walk in the light, you have nothing to fear. Okay, let us know in the comments or in our private group, the Archetypal Alliance, how this made you feel and what you're going to do with this information, with this map. And feel free to share it with anyone it might serve right now, or anyone who might be able to add to this message and this magic. I look forward to seeing what this all comes to next week at the culmination, the full moon point. full illumination of all that's going on behind the scenes here. And I saw some of you commenting if you're interested in learning more and you want to go deep with the books, the Royal Path 1 and 2, or my video courses, please reach out. You can private message me here or email me, info@royalpathtarot.com. I also am available for one-on-one readings. Yes, yes, yes. And if you want to give back for this activation, if it touched you, or a previous activation, you can leave me a review, facebook.com/royalpathtarot, or just message me your words. Let me know what you feel, how this made you feel. You can always give back. You can make an exchange. My Venmo is Rebecca-Magic with a CK, as you see it spelled here. Or reach out to me if you have another way or another exchange you want to make. I'm always open to it, happy to receive, and so grateful for all that has been given. I love this. I can't believe we've been doing this for so many years now, y'all. It's awesome. Pretty much every single week we've been doing this, so I'm really grateful for this community. And I'll see you next week for the full moon activation. Shalom.